So settling on in here, beginning to notice the seat beneath you, whether you're seated on a chair, hmm, or on a cushion, wherever you are, and beginning to notice your breath, feeling the rhythm of your breath, maybe noticing if you would like to slow the pace of your breath just slightly, exploring what it feels like to take a full inhale and how much exhale lets you let it all go. And as you begin to settle in here, maybe notice if your seat needs any adjustment. I always start my practice with a few wiggles, just noticing if this is the right seat for me today, if my legs are in the right posture. And when we talk about what's right, I don't mean to some magical standard, but what feels right in your body. Hmm. So, mindfulness is all about noticing what is with compassion. That we notice the sensations in our physical bodies, perhaps starting with our lower body. Again, noticing that seat beneath you, your legs, your feet, your toes. Bringing your awareness here, noticing sensations with curiosity and compassion. Just taking a few rounds of breath here, making your initial observations, and then seeing what's beyond that. And using your breath as a guide, bring your awareness to your abdomen, perhaps seeing if you can bring your breath into your belly, expanding on your inhale and softening on your exhale. Maybe even bringing your hands to rest on your belly, feeling this expansion and softening in your belly as well as with your hands. Now, as you continue to breathe, maybe sitting up a little bit taller as you inhale and letting your shoulders soften on your exhale. Following a few rounds of this. And our ideal seated meditation posture has our head stacked over our heart, heart over hips, seated upright, tall. And this can be accomplished by sitting in a chair with a back to it or having your meditation cushion against a wall. Whatever works for your body. I'm noticing now your entire torso, any sensations that are present there. And noticing your face, maybe making some movements here. Noticing what movements feel helpful, maybe scrunching your face small and then stretching it bigger. Hmm. And settling into stillness, perhaps inviting a soft smile. Maybe noticing the different sensation of letting your face hang during meditation versus inviting that smile. Sometimes when I find myself feeling a little sluggish, the only thing I change is inviting that smile to my face. And it usually helps. Hmm. So now that we've checked in with our physical body, beginning to bring your mindful awareness to your thoughts and emotions. Remembering that what we're doing is noticing here, inviting this awareness with compassion. I was going through a deck of affirmation cards. These are called From the Heart. Um, and the one that was really speaking to me is I acknowledge and express my emotions with ease and grace. So for me, this morning I found myself placing one hand on my heart. I acknowledge and express my emotions with ease and grace. Noticing how that feels for you. Maybe you're like, yeah, I feel that. Or maybe you go, oh, I don't know how to do that. And we're not looking at the whole rest of forever here. Seeing if for the next breath, you can acknowledge your emotions with ease and grace. The last couple weeks, I've had some personal things going on, as we all do, and I found myself falling into this meditative pitfall that so many of us fall into, which is, all right, once everything calms down, then I'll be able to feel more peace. Um, and as soon as it popped into my mind, I went, oh, Caitlyn. So we know that what this practice is about is cultivating peace regardless of what's going on around you. So taking this time to connect with your breath, to allow yourself to feel whatever it is you're feeling. And for me, that's included some dancing to get my wiggles out, crying without judgment. We can fall into this duality of you have to be happy or sad, when in reality, we can be a mix of both. Remembering, especially as we notice and acknowledge our emotions, that emotions don't have to be logical. So when we're checking in with what's present in our emotions, we're not checking in with whether our emotions are right. We're just seeing what's there. And so giving yourself this time to breathe, to notice what's there. And if your emotions are feeling a little too intense today, returning to these sensations in your physical body, feeling the connection between your seat and the floor or your chair, feeling the rhythm of your breath. It's actually a really important practice to notice those potentially difficult emotions or uncomfortable emotions and remind yourself that you are still safe, that you can feel discomfort without being in danger. That's a phrase that tends to bring a to my body. And a fun fact about yoga that many people don't realize is actually that the exceptionally twisty and bendy yoga practices aren't so that you'll look cool, but more so to practice this sitting with discomfort. Can you get yourself into this binded twist and breathe and be there for several counts of breath, knowing that if you are truly in danger, you could untwist at any time? Can you sit with acknowledging your emotions, knowing that you can return your focal point to your body at any time? The next practice I'd like to shift into It's from a book I've very much been enjoying called The Way of Effortless Mindfulness by Locke Kelly. So we talked about how we can acknowledge our emotions and we can notice physical sensations with compassion. And this exercise is about relaxing the problem solver. So, very often, our thinking mind is looking for what's there to be fixed. And we do this with our own bodies all the time. We go, oh, I notice a sensation that's tension. I have to get rid of that. What if we breathe into it? Can we invite ease and be okay without it softening? So I'll read from the book here. To begin this practice, start from wherever you are. Notice the sense of me that is here now. Notice the feeling of having a sense of self as a doer or problem solver. The small sense of self keeps its centrality by being a problem solver. It can be helpful in solving everyday problems, but is mainly trying to solve the problem of identity, which it can't do. This manager part is usually felt within your body, looking out of your eyes. Notice the location, shape, size, and feeling of this me that is trying to be helpful and undertake this practice. It usually has thoughts and worries like, am I doing this right? Or I don't think I'll get it. Or how do I do this? The goal is not to escape everyday problems, situations, or issues that need to be dealt with. Instead, experience what it's like to step out of the problem solver identity, to relax this manager and notice what's here. When awareness looks directly, notice what changes, what is absent, and what new qualities arise. What is the new feeling of what or who is here? Ask yourself, what is present here now when there is no problem to solve? Let your awareness drop open, asking who is here, what is aware, what is present when there is nowhere to go and nothing to do. Nothing to know or create or become. What is here just now when you are not the problem solver? What is here when you are not orienting by thought, when you're not going to sleep, and you're not going back to daydream. Just feel, what is this? Now ask yourself, what's aware now when there is no problem to solve? Feel the qualities that arise. What is present here in this space without needing to move or do? Where are you aware from? Can you become aware of your awareness? Now, from a fresh beginner's mind, ask yourself, what is here when there's no problem to solve? Taking a few deep breaths here, blinking your eyes open if they were closed. Maybe wiggling your fingers and toes as you look around the space. Bringing yourself fully back, but maintaining this mindful connection to what is present. Remembering that you don't always have to be the problem solver. Thank you so much for meditating with me. Thank you.